that I will be speaking here, but after I came here, I saw my photograph on the flexi, and I can't avoid speaking because I will not be allowed to speak. But one thing is that my predecessors who spoke just now here, Mr. Ramesh, who has an experience of a police officer, and Mr. Lakshmi Narayana is an advocate, and Mr. Ramchandra and Mr. Surya as a social activist, they have kept their viewpoint before you all. And we all agree that the Constitution is supreme. That is what we must understand. And this Constitution was not prepared overnight. There were debates, there were deliberations, and there were also dissent among the members of the Constituent Assembly. And everyone discussed each and every point, and they gave us this Constitution, which took 2 years, 11 months and few days to frame this Constitution. And on 23rd November 1949, the Constitution was adopted by this country. Parliament adopted it. And on 26th January, we became a republic, 1950. And since then, the guiding force for this country is Constitution. I tell you, friend, the Constitution was prepared by drafting committee and also the Constituent Assemblies who were there after the independence, nearly 299 members, who discussed very thoroughly. The drafting committee ultimately drafted it. And this is the only constitution in the world which is not typed, which is not printed. It is written calligraphy. Some Das, I don't remember his name. He has written, Jamna Das or someone, who calligraphed it. And he presented to the nation. And that is how this constitution had come to the force. And today, I say that we are being guided by the Constitution. We are being guided by our Constitution, and whenever a crisis came, a solution was there in our Constitution. You go to the previous elections in the government, when there was no majority for any single party, the Constitution showed us the way. When the governments were toppled, the Constitution was the solution for us. It was a guiding force. S.R. Bommai case, when the Karnataka government was dismissed. And like that, we have seen this Constitution guiding this country from time to time. And friends, this is the Constitution in the world. I think it is the best of the Constitution, drafted by Dr. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee. And we have inspired from nearly 10 countries across the world. The best of it was adopted by our country, by this Constitution. And this Constitution, friends, you must also learn, you must also see that how we survive crisis, political crisis, constitutional crisis, and then subsequently how it was tampered for the political benefit, and how again it was saved, and how the Constitution was misused to rule this country. Because friends, when the Golaknath case of Punjab came before the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court said that Parliament can interfere in fundamental rights, and some changes were there in fundamental rights. But when Keshavananda Bharati case came in 1973, the Supreme Court said the fundamental rights cannot be interfered with, and basic structure of the Constitution cannot be changed. The basic structure of the Constitution cannot be changed, and that is still now we believe in that basic structure of the Constitution cannot be changed, and the Constitution is like that. If any fool comes and say that BJP wale Constitution badal denge, then I think he should read the Constitution and Keshavananda Bharati judgment. No one can change the Constitution like that. And then subsequently, friends, the Keshavananda Bharati case was something with Kerala, where the Congress government was there. When Punjab was ruled by Congress party, Golaknath case came, and in the Parliament, it was their Congress party. It was the Supreme Court with the judicial intervention that it came to the rescue of the people. So this Constitution has got judiciary, parliament and executive, all three of independent each other, and the judicial is having the powers to judicial review the decision taken by the Parliament. You know, many acts have been challenged in the courts of ultra virus, and they have been, in fact, set aside. They have been quashed. There are several acts. Our own judicial appointment commission bill, which was brought before the Supreme Court, said, no, you can't. You are doing, the Parliament cannot have the power of appointing judges. And they kept back their powers. The constitution was amended, and you know, ours is a written constitution, but it is a liberal constitution, very flexible constitution. We have amended our constitution nearly 128 times, perhaps 128 times. And there are some few constitutional amendments which we have to remember. Friends, as just now Mr. Ramesh was telling, that the constitutional preamble was changed. Secular and socialistic republic was introduced. It was during the 42nd amendment by Srimati Gandhi's government, when she tried to save her skin. When she lost the election petition in Allahabad High Court, then she wanted to change the constitution. She amended the constitution with a brutal majority in the parliament, and then she changed the parliament. She changed the constitution by 42nd amendment and said in that the election to the president, vice president, speaker, and prime minister cannot be challenged. She also went to an extent that to extend the term of the prime minister, a term of the government by 1 year without election. That was how brutally the constitution was in fact misused. It was thanks to the Supreme Court that it came to the rescue of the countrymen, and thanks to the constitution which was written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, which came to a rescue, and today we are all saved from our fundamental rights being infringed. We have seen our fundamental rights, which is very prime and lovely to all. We love enjoying our rights, but at the same time we hate to exercise our duties. And that's why the constitution was balanced. They said directive principles of state policy, then your fundamental duties and fundamental rights, and no one overlap on anything. And in their directive principles of state policy, what is written? The state shall endeavor to introduce uniform civil code. Is state doing it? Was it being done? When Supreme Court came up with Shabano case judgment, the constitution was meddled with. There was a new law brought reversing the Supreme Court judgment, challenging the Supreme Court judgment, which said that in the Shabano case, that during Iddat period only maintenance can be given, not otherwise. When this was challenged, the Shariat was found wrong, but Rajiv Gandhi, for his own political gain, Supreme Court judgment was reversed, and he introduced a law called Muslim Women Protection Act. That's how they meddled with the judicial orders. Keshavananda Bharati, they interfered. Golaknath case, they interfered. Shabano case, they interfered. 42nd Amendment, they brought. They tried to amendment. They tried to even extend their term tenure illegally. So who has actually meddled with the constitution, and whom they are blaming it now? We have seen that when this constitution came, the constitution was given to us by our framers to see that the countrymen are not deprived of their rights. But today, what has happened? Who is even being deprived of their rights? In the Shabano case itself, when a Muslim woman is being harassed by her husband, she has no right for a divorce. And no right is there. If it is there, it is in a different way called khula. And a man in Muslim community can say that talaq, 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 and can simply get away with the divorce. And who protected them? The constitutional amendment and triple talaq, the act, when it was brought by the Honorable Modi ji. And how women were protected there. The another amendment which we bought, the Bharatiya Janata Party government bought, was with regard to the Article 370, abrogation of Article 370. And how the previous rulers, without following any procedures, introduced Article 370, Article 35A, and had been ruling the Kashmir state with all the three reasons, illegally spending crores of rupees of Indian currency, Indian funds, not even giving the reservation facility to the people of Kashmir. But today, after the abrogation of the Article 370, even Supreme Court said yes, abrogation of Article 370 is legal and constitutional valid. So we did it so. We have not meddled with the constitution, but we try to save the constitution and try to save the people of this country. When we bought the reservation, 10% reservation for the EBC, we amended the constitution and brought 10% to reservation for the economically backward classes without disturbing the reservations for the SCs, BCs, OBCs and other STs. We brought it extra by constitution amending it, making it 10% extra. And that was also upheld by Supreme Court. That's how we protected the constitution and rights of the poor people in this country. We actually, in fact, amended the constitution to give justice to the women, giving 33% of the reservation in the legislative bodies, MLAs and MPs and other things, where 33% of women reservation will be there by amending the constitution. We did it so you could not do it. You tore the amendment paper in parliament floor of the parliament. So therefore, friends, it is we who are protecting the constitution. It is we who are going along with the constitution. It is we who are protecting the people of this country. But the constitution has been violated by whom? Article 356. How many times it was violated by the Congress government previously? In 1977, when Janata Party came to power and it lost the power, when Gandhi, Indira Gandhi again came back, the all non-Congress government was dissolved. They were dismissed brutally. How? It was misused. Presidential rule was there. Article 356 was misused by the Congress party. Who violated the constitution? It is the Congress party which has had a habit of, violating with the constitution, meddling with the constitution. And lastly, when emergency was declared, friends, everyone's fundamental rights were curbed. The press freedom was curbed. The press could not even publish their editorials. People were jailed under MISA. Even a minor boy was jailed in MISA. No one was there to look after them. Atalji was in jail. Jayaprakash Narayan was in jail. It is the people's power, the people's revolution that brought back the democracy in the country. It was brought, the people fought against the constitutional meddling by the Congress party. It was thrown out of the power. So friends, the constitution has to be protected. The constitution has to be protected because the constitution is a guiding force for us. And once again, I reiterate that the constitution of this country has been a guiding force for us in all fields. Let it be international affairs, let it be in individual human rights, let it be states' rights, let it be anything. So we try to say that we are proud that we are in India and we have a constitution which is 76 years old now, and we have a drafting committee chairman who was Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who was neglected by Congress, who was insulted by Congress, and they could not give him Bharat Ratna also. It is the Bharatiya Janata Party government which actually constructed a very huge research center for him in Delhi. We constructed a memorial at Mahu. We acquired his house in London where he studied. We are in Nagpur, Pancha Tirtha, which we said about Ambedkar ji. They insult Ambedkar, they insult Constitution, they try to blame on Bharatiya Janata Party. So that is the reason, friends, that today we must be all aware that the Congress party is trying to blame the Bharatiya Janata Party on false and baseless allegations. Just by taking the constitutional book without reading it, not knowing how many articles it has got, like a pastor and holding a Bible like this, goes around the country and says that this is being violated. Now first open the book and see how many times you have violated the constitution. So friends, the constitution is our pride. Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Swabhiman. Our constitution is our pride, so therefore let us strive to protect the constitution. And I am very thankful to the organizers who have given me this opportunity. Thank you very much.